was told that this is impossible. 3D engraving on this machine on a Zorro lighter. Let's check it out. Let's actually take a look at how 3D engraving is done on lighters. It's all very simple here. There's already a ready-made template. I specifically saved it for you on that same Telegram channel. I'll leave all the links in the description for the official equipment suppliers in Moscow. I'll also leave all the links in the description and the official site where you can download the xTool Studio software application. So we delete our layout and drop in a new layout from our folder. We have a layout folder like this one with 3D height maps. Actually, it's suggesting that we scale it to the size of our screen. We step aside, set the focal length, and take a screenshot of our screen. Our lighter's being displayed. It's as simple as can be here. We just need to trace it using standard tools. We use the pen, vector, and start tracing. I recommend tracing from some corner point. That's the best way. So we draw the positions where our vectors will turn. It's best to set the lighter very straight so that later when tracing, all the layers, all the layouts themselves are as straight as possible. Here, the lighter is most likely sitting a bit crooked. We'll probably fix that now, and I'll take another screenshot. Now that the lighter is positioned more or less comfortably for us for the drawing, we trace the vectors, tracing as detailed as possible along the edge of our layout. Don't forget that the lighter will now be a shiny color, but we have to focus on the points and the mirroring of those points. Basically, everything here is made as convenient, clear, and simple as possible. I'm tracing this in a real-time recording, so I didn't do this beforehand. Everything that was done beforehand has already been done and saved, accordingly, specifically for you. So we're looking for a vertical point. We're missing, let's say, a little point here. Or we need to move this point out a bit over here, just a tiny bit, and trace a vertical line at the level where the previous point was created. Got it. Creating the next point. Got it. And one more plank. Got it. And finishing our drawing. Got it. Click done, and we get a vector file. It's also as simple as can be here. We scale our image to fit our lighter. So our task is to position it exactly in the center of our lighter. Again, there's nothing complicated here. Anyone can handle this task, and everyone will succeed. You can unlock it, you can make it a bit wider, a bit narrower. That is, however you like, whatever's convenient, either based on the lighter's shape or your object structure. Here, we'll assume that our right edge will be a bit wider than the left, so we're shifting the left edge back a bit. We'll scale it here as well, and, well, this will be more than enough for our engraving. The next task is as simple as it gets. We select the vector file, select the image using Control, and then we head over here. There's an offset here, and we have the Create Mask function. We click Create Mask, and a mask of our image is generated. If everything looks good and we're happy with it, we can move the placement around here, then we click Done. So now we have a finished design ready for engraving on the lighter. The first and most difficult issue to consider in this kind of work is that the first pass must absolutely be in embossing format. In the embossing format, we select MOPA, and we know that our lighter has a nickel and copper coating. These are the toughest materials that are very hard to strip from the surface, so the first pass will have to be done at low power. I mean, at low speed, but high power. We'll set the number of passes to 300 here, so the first few passes will be just clearing the surface material without clearing the 3D model or 3D object. We'll set the power to 80. Here, we'll set the speed of the laser movement. Let's make it 1000. Pass 1. We'll set the lines per centimeter to the maximum value. Set the angle increment to 20, though you could basically set it to 25. It doesn't really matter because we'll be changing the parameters for the second clean pass anyway. Dew pulse 200, nominal frequency 48. We won't touch anything else here. So we'll leave our layout like this, we can uncheck any extra boxes here, and that's how our 3D engraving will be done. What changes are we going to make? We'll change things for the second pass. Let me do it this way. Control-C, Control-V, Control-C, Control-V. We'll place our template in the same position, And for the second image, since the second is a copy of the first, we'll just temporarily disable it for now, but we can pre-configure it. The power value will be set to 50%. I'll set the speed here to at least 3000 millimeters per second. I set the previous one to 2000, unfortunately, but it turned out quite deep and we didn't burn through the lighter. Lines 300, we'll set the angle rotation to 20. Hue pulse, 200. We can bump up the frequency range a bit because our speed is quite high and our spot size won't match up. So around 60 kilohertz will be more than enough, and we'll engrave it after we've done about 3 or 4 passes until we've removed the brass layer from the lighter itself. Now let's move on to the engraving. The only layer that will be engraved is the top layer, the embossing, and that's the one we're going to use. Let me just make sure to save the file for you one more time. That is, save as. We'll save it to the local disk, selecting 3D engraving on a lighter. Don't forget to do about 4 or 5 passes first, until the copper layer is removed from the top of the lighter. Then we stop the process manually. Go to our engraving, turn off the first layer, click on the second layer, turn it on, and start the 256 layer engraving process. Everything is as simple as can be. It's completely elementary. That's it. Let's go. Let's start with the most interesting part, what we've just engraved and what was engraved earlier. 2 absolutely identical lighters. The result will be different in each case. Here we selected the parameters, and here I drafted and drew it separately for you. Plus, I already knew all the nuances, so I made it better here. The issue here is that we didn't quite fit within the lighter's frame. But then again, there was this. We'll definitely do chemical patination here and mechanical polishing using felt and deluxe paste. We haven't done anything here yet, but look, the engraving theme, the lighter itself, and the line blowing effect right around the mouth area all came together perfectly. What nuances should you expect? I'll tell you right now, the first thing is I don't recommend engraving without the internal parts. The lid might open, shift, or get distorted. I also don't recommend tying it with wire or electrical tape. It will heat up and it might change its structure during the process, or the tape might just slip off because the edges are rounded here. Zorro lighters are of good quality. So again, we don't use thin-walled ones, we use good Zorros, which allow for a really nice deep engraving. There are definitely advantages to that. It takes 2 hours to engrave these lighters. Same story here. Now we're gonna patinate this and do a mechanical polish on felt using white deluxe finishing paste, and we'll get just as good a result. At the end, of course, I'll show and explain everything. The focal length, so you don't have to look it up, is about 36 millimeters from the bottom edge of the table to the top of the lighter. Again, I've marked all of this in the layout. The layouts will be available via the link in the description on the Telegram channel, labeled with this video's release date. And don't forget the links to the official representatives of this equipment, their official website, and the marketplaces where these machines are sold. So you can ask me about the price, where to buy it, what it looks like, and how to order it. You can just follow the links and make a purchase. I test it, explore options, create layouts and templates, provide them to you, and teach you how to use them. There are also a bunch of cool features specifically in xTool Studio. I'll talk about that later in another video, but there are so many new tricks that I just have to mention them. There. I saw them yesterday, loved them, and I'll definitely tell you about them in the next video. Friends, let's take a look at both results. On the right is the first lighter, where I did the deep engraving. There are some downsides. The depth here is a bit less, but it's more or less stable in the sense that these cases don't burst or crack during use, even in your pocket, so they handle various pressures and loads quite well. Yeah, of course, the detailing is super cool. Everything looks really great. Let's do this. Let's zoom in a bit and look at them and the difference between them. The difference, let's even set it to 3. The difference with this lighter is that everything turned out great. I didn't remove the insert here, not during polishing nor during patenting. Consequently, the insert got a bit wet during the patina process. Applying the patina and rinsing. I don't recommend doing that, but despite all that, I also did the polishing with the insert in. The quality of the results is, accordingly, uniform everywhere. In this joint seam here, it's excellent. On this one, I started protecting the insert. I took it out for the patina and I took it out for the polishing too. And it turned out that during polishing, our case deforms a little bit like this, just a tiny bit. Well, we apply pressure unevenly, and the lower part of the jaw got polished a bit more, and so the detailing was lost here. The depth of the material removal was naturally made a bit shallower than on the previous one in order to leave, let's say, the maximum metal thickness. During use, pressure and deformation, it won't burst. But here, the choice is up to each of you. So we have these good lighters from the Zorro brand. They are available for sale. I'll leave all the links in the description for the third time for you to visit, contact, or reach out. Don't forget there are links to the official website in Russia, the representatives of the xTool F2 UTRA company. Awkward. Let's do it like this. Yeah, general view, because basically I like the equipment so far. Lots of functions, lots of different cool features. I think the mask function's really cool. We can cut and crop all of that right in the software. Yes, there are such functions in other software as well, like Lightburn, but today we are looking specifically at the xTool F2 UTRA equipment. Everything seems cool, everything's good. Once again, as always, big thumbs up from you and more information for me. I'll save the templates, I'll say it again, in the Telegram channel. The link will be in the description. I'll definitely make a note. The release date of this video will be on that file, marked xTool F2. That's it guys, wish you all the best, lots of cash, and bye bye everyone.